I think courage is external, right? The reason someone has courage to jump out of an airplane is because there's a parachute on their back. It's the external thing. A world-famous trapeze artist would never try a brand new death-defying act for the first time without a net. It's the net that gives them the courage. The Navy SEALs are considered one of the highest performing organizations on the planet. And a former SEAL was asked, what kind of person makes it into the SEALs? And he said, I can't tell you the kind of person that makes it in, but I can tell you the kind of person that doesn't make it in. He said the star college athletes who have never really been tested to the core of their being, none of them make it in. He said the preening leaders who like to delegate everything, none of them make it in. He says the guys who show up with hulking muscles covered in tattoos because they want to show you how tough they are, none of them make it in. He said some of the guys who make it in are skinny and scrawny. He said some of the guys who make it in, you see them shivering out of fear. He said, but every single one of the guys who makes it in, when they're emotionally exhausted, when they're physically exhausted, when they have absolutely nothing left to give, somehow, some way, they're able to dig down deep inside themselves to find the energy to help the guy next to them. In other words, the reason these organizations and these people have the courage to do remarkable things is not because of their internal strength. It's because they have the absolute confidence that there is someone to the left of them and someone to the right of them that cares about them. And they all know that. And it's the quality of the relationships that we maintain, professionally and personally, that give us the courage to do difficult things. Isaac Stern, the famous violinist, said, music is what happens between the notes. Well, something like trust happens between the meetings. Few people think about the importance of building trust when they go to work, or what do I need to do today to build trust with somebody? That doesn't really go through people's minds. But we have chit-chat as we walk into the meeting. We have chit-chat when we walk out of the meeting. And we see somebody in the hall and they're like, oh, meant to tell you something. Or you knock on someone's door and be like, got a minute? And all those little innocuous interactions over the course of time, like any relationship, build trust. It's about setting up the computer, setting up Zoom and having a work session with somebody. We're not working on the same thing, but I want to work with somebody, a work buddy, or having a lunch with somebody over Zoom, or a Monday morning huddle where we talk about what's on our heart and minds, but we do not talk business on purpose, or Friday cocktails that are just voluntary. But the most important one is to just pick up the phone and call people and say, how are you? That level of empathy. Just check in on someone. And I think we neglect it because we get mired in the day-to-day. But, if you're organized or disorganized, literally keep a list of your team on a little card next to your computer and just, go through it. And have I called this person in a while and talked to this person? I'm just going to call and check in. It doesn't matter if something's wrong or not wrong. Just check in on them. Don't wait for something to break. And let people know that that there's connection and there's a way to reach out and say, I need help. Because and the most important thing is for leaders to be honest and open about their need to ask for help. And that'll work.
Dave, you know what happens on the ground. I know that we help people. The people on the ground. I know that we killed evil terrorists and insurgents that systematically tortured and raped and murdered the innocent local populace. I know that we did that. I know that we were able to protect children from these insurgents, from these terrorists. I know we were able to protect families. I know that those families wanted these insurgents out of their city and out of their country. And so while there were defense companies certainly making money, there was a simultaneous good that was taking place. And we took lives, but we also saved lives. And that's the truth. Enriching global corporations and enriching the military-industrial complex, that enrichment certainly influences behaviors. Right? It influences someone that's making a weapon system to try and make their weapon system better, to try and make better body armor. There's someone right now, as we speak, that is trying to make better body armor. And part of the reason they're trying to make it is to protect the American soldier, but guess what? They got a mortgage to pay. And they want to make better body armor because they want to make more money. And if they can make better body armor, then the U.S. government goes, wow, that's lighter, it's stronger, it provides more protection, we're going to buy it. It's not that the person is just thinking about money, but the money, the two goals are aligned. There's a simultaneous drive that is moving behavior in the right direction. And oftentimes, like I just used that example, body armor, they're aligned. With this company out there, Acme Body Armor. They want to make best body armor. They want to make it. Do they want to protect Americans? Yes, they do. Do they want to make money? Yes, they do. So I have no problem with that. If they're aligned, it works out perfectly. Here's the problem. The problem is if they're out of alignment. That's where it can become awful. And that's what we need to watch out for. What is the driving force behind going to war? Are we going to war because it's the right thing to do? Are we going to war for benevolent reasons? Are we positive that it will have a positive impact that will offset the natural negative impacts of war? Because when you go into war, there's going to be negative impacts. People are going to die. People are going to get wounded. And is the positive impact going to offset that negative impact? Is it going to help stability in the world? Is there a strategic benefit for us as America? If we're going to war for those reasons, because there's going to be a strategic advantage, because it protects our national security, because it's going to be truly good for the people on the ground that need protection, that need help to get out from a tyrannical regime or an evil regime. And there are evil regimes. And if you don't think there's evil regimes, you're wrong. Because there's people in the world, there's regimes in the world that will systematically rape little kids. So if we're going to war for those reasons, okay, we can consider it. If the primary driver of going to war is to make money, if it's to profit, if it's to sell more guns and bombs, if it's not going to stabilize the world, if it doesn't help us protect our national security, if it's going to be a strategic defeat, then we're wrong. And can there be alignment by these two drivers? Yes, there absolutely can. I don't mind someone making great body armor, making money off it. I don't mind somebody making a great weapon system that makes a bunch of money and it helps us win a war. I have no problem with that at all. But if these things aren't aligned and we're fighting for money or we're fighting for profit and we're not getting positive impact and we're not getting strategic benefit, well, then we need to listen to Major General Smedley Butler and say,